Well, if you are a fan of poetry, there is a local author who just came out with a new book full of poems. He named it Colors in Black and White, and there is really something for everybody in this book. He and I sat down earlier this week to talk about what it means to him.
The book is about several things. It's about family, it's about God, it's about relationships and experiences. But I found when I was putting the poems together that there was this sort of common thread that dealt with interracial relationships, specifically romance interracially. And the double meaning occurred to me of black and white in relationships and then black and white in print. So I simply called it Colors in Black and White. I thought that was a nice fit.
Yeah. Walk me through this book. There are several different things, as you mentioned, that facets of your life that you are writing about. What are some of the things that people will read when they go through this? I mean, is this a chronological, or is this just different thoughts that came to your head? What are people going to see and understand when they're going through this?
Right. I didn't specifically map it out, but it sort of did take on a pattern. In the beginning, it's poems about myself. I went through a great deal of self-discovery as a teen and in my 20s. The very first poem is one that's requested a lot about when I realized that I was just as important as everybody else, because I know there's a lot of people who have low self-esteem.
Okay.
And when I reached that point, I kind of realized how important that poem was, and I started sharing it with people. And that one is called Anthem, because it is really about who I am and who each of us is. But it gets into my family. I wrote a poem each for my boys. I have 3 boys, and those poems are in there. I have poems about my father who passed away when I was in my 20s. And then later in the book, in the back, it gets into more passionate poems. There are some definite, PG-13 and R-rated poems.
Okay.
So it's not for everybody,
yeah.
But all ages can benefit from the poems in it. More specifically, toward the beginning, about who you are.
Okay, and I was gonna say, I mean, it sounds like, and flipping through the pages, it looks like definitely something that everybody can kind of relate to. That
yes.
it is a very relatable book, and the poems are about life. It's not just about you, but things that people can relate to on a daily basis.
I do tend to be very honest in my writing. First of all, when I write, it's for myself, so I have nothing to hide. But then I also use language that everybody can relate to, and even if they haven't been through what I've been through, they can understand what I've been feeling.
Yeah.
And if they have been through similar things, then they can relate to it all the more.
Okay. Last thing here, Colors in Black and White. Where can people go to buy a copy, maybe get more information on the book and more information about you?
Okay. Well, I always have copies with me in my car. That's kind of a rule. I do read poetry occasionally at JB's. It's on Riverside, right at Central Park.
Yeah.
That's on Wednesdays, and I'm there occasionally. But there's also a website link. It's 2pensandlint.com/T. Michael Pender, and they can order the book, and they can also read a few sample poems there.